Shame is sneaky. It doesn't just make you feel bad. It starts whispering that you are bad. And before long, it shapes how you see yourself, how you act, what you believe you deserve. And for people who grew up with trauma, shame can become so familiar that you stop noticing it's even there. It's like background noise, always humming, always shaping what you do. But that old shame doesn't have to define who you are. You can face it, you can see it if it's something you need to do something about, and clear it up. Get your self-respect back. If you grew up in chaos, people yelling, lying, disappearing, pretending everything was fine when it wasn't, you probably learned shame early. You saw people doing things they should have been ashamed of, actually, and instead of taking responsibility, they hid or blamed people or acted like nothing happened. And that's mainly what my parents did. And when you live around that long enough, it changes you. You stop trusting your own sense of right and wrong. You take it on like it's yours. You start hiding too. But real shame isn't just a feeling. It's the sting of knowing that you've fallen short of your own standards. It's supposed to hurt a little bit. That's what makes you want to correct it. But when you've lived with trauma, that sting can feel like an existential threat, like it'll kill you if you let it in. You don't want to look at it because you think it will show you something that you can't bear. And that's the trap. Shame makes you avoid the very truth that could set you free. So you get stuck. You hide the mistakes that need to be cleaned up. You avoid good things on the other side of that because, I don't know, some people say it's because you don't think you deserve them. I tend to think it's more because you think you can't have them. Even looking at good things brings up shame. All the hiding, all the pushing down your awareness. You lose touch with your own moral center, the part of you that used to know right from wrong. And you give up on setting things right. You don't even try anymore. You give up on becoming the kind of person that you want to be. That's how shame steals your identity. Now, shame isn't an enemy. It's information. It's what tells you when something is off track. The problem isn't feeling shame. It's ignoring it or drowning in it instead of letting it guide you back to honesty. Now, there are two main kinds of shame in my book. Free-floating shame is what I call the leftover kind of shame, the feeling that something is wrong with you even when you've done nothing wrong. There's a lot of that. You didn't earn it. It came from being around people who acted badly and made you carry the feelings that maybe they should have had themselves. Then there's what I call earned shame, the kind that comes from what you've done. You broke your word, you lied, you fell short of your own code. That kind of shame, when you face it, is the beginning of healing. Because once you tell the truth about what happened, you can make it right. Yeah. If you want to heal shame, you have to face it in action, not in your imagination, but in deeds, words. You start by telling the truth. Write down a few things that still bother you. That's how I started. Things you said, things you avoided, things that didn't sit right with you. Look at them one by one and ask, is this even mine? And if it's not, if it's someone else's behavior that you've been carrying, you feel like it taints you though, you can let that go. But if it is yours, this is actually good because this is something that you can make right. You can't make right other people's faults. But if it's something that you caused, you can make it right. Now that might mean apologizing, stopping a behavior, admitting the truth to yourself and maybe someone you trust. That's how shame begins to lose its hold on you. It's not only about feeling better, but when you start facing your shame, you do feel better. But from there, you go on to the next level, which is repair. You do better. You feel shame because you hurt something or someone. Maybe you hurt yourself too. But watch out for people who say that the only apology they've ever owed anyone is themselves. Yeah, it's a rare human who hurts only themselves, but never hurt anyone else. It's healthy to acknowledge that sometimes we have hurt other people. Some people will tell you, oh, just don't have shame. Get rid of it. That's some other people put that on you because they're bad, but you're good. Don't have that feeling. And yes, We sometimes feel ashamed when we don't need to be, but sometimes we feel it because we need to repair something. We need to set something right. When you start living in a way consistent with what you know is right, when your actions line up with your own standards again, shame becomes useful. It turns into guidance. It stops being the enemy anymore. It's not going to kill you. Now, when you've lived for years with unaddressed shame, you can start mistaking it for your personality. But you might think you're anxious, or you think you're avoidant or unworthy, when what's really happening is that your conscience has been asking for your attention and asking and asking. It's trying to help you see where you've gone off course into self-defeating behaviors. These are normal for traumatized people. They're normal for everyone, in fact. But to heal from trauma, it is so important and powerful to clear up these behaviors. You might not be able to do them all at once, but if you want to see a list of them, I'll put them in the top line of the description section below this video. And a lot of people find this list really helpful to spot where change is needed. Now, avoiding shame, it does not protect you. It keeps you trapped in it. Every time you face it honestly, you get a little clearer. You get a little stronger. You remember who you are, someone capable of facing reality and changing course. Now, a lot of people are told that shame is toxic. It's something that other people put on you. And the solution is to get away from those people. Cut them off. Validate yourself. That might be comforting when you feel like one more thing that makes you feel bad about yourself is more than you can handle. But that's not healthy either. People who can't feel shame, who can't feel remorse or regret, they become dangerous. They stop learning. They stop connecting. They can't be trusted. So don't seek to get rid of shame. Seek to get clear enough to see that whatever is causing it is probably not as big as you think, by the way. Just let it be the size it needs to be for you to be honest with yourself, but not so big that it destroys you. When you feel shame, and you take responsibility, you grow stronger. The things you need to change, they just come into focus. The things that were never your fault, they're just lifted off your shoulders. I'd say in my experience, more than half of it is just crud, and it wasn't mine, and it went away. In my work, I teach people to use writing to face what's really bothering them, to see where they've been resentful or fearful or dishonest. And when you look closely, some of those resentments are at yourself. That's shame. That's where you focus your effort. Not on talking about it endlessly, but on cleaning up the real messes in your life. You start telling the truth to yourself, to others, to the people you've hurt. You make amends where you can. It actually feels very, very good to make amends. And when you do that, you begin to trust yourself again. That trust is what heals the feeling that you're a bad person, right? That feeling. You can't think your way into this. You can't rationalize your way out of it. You have to live your way through it with honesty and consistency and courage. Now, if shame has been running your life, stop trying to get rid of it. Use it. Let it show you where you've fallen short and where you need to act differently. And let your different actions show you where your shame has held you down, made you think that everything was your fault. Everything is not your fault. It's hard to tell the difference, though, when you've got unprocessed fear and resentment running the show in here and in here. Now, what can help with that, what helped me, are my daily practice techniques. It's a specific writing technique followed by a simple meditation that you do twice a day so that you can get calmer and clearer about where your focus needs to be and what you don't need to worry about at all. Yeah, that's actually part of clarity. This just evaporates. I can show you how to do these techniques in a free course that I made. I'll put the link below in the second line of the description section so that you can access that and give it a try. You heal shame by doing what's right over and over until it becomes your second nature. By telling the truth, by facing what you've done and repairing what you can, by holding yourself to the standards that you already know are the right thing, even when no one's watching. That's what brings your identity back, brings it into fullness. It's not a feeling, it's the result of living with integrity. And when you do that, you stop hiding, you stop doubting yourself, and you start walking through the world with your head held high as the person you were meant to be all along. If you like this video, I've got one that you're going to love right here, and I'll see you very soon. Well, this is how friendships fall apart. This kind of thing is how it falls apart. And it's not your fault you got this way. This is a really common and normal response to having grown up with trauma. But, of course, we all want to work on it and learn to handle it even better.